Welcome to Fumblelore. This is a special bonus episode that is part of our Patreon exclusives that we're going to call Lore Dump. Every now and then, what I want to do is I want to sit down with our players to talk about the world and talk about our characters and try to get all of the exposition out that we may have missed in the episodes that we filmed. So we are 6 episodes right now into our homebrew campaign of Ithrodel, and I realized in going back and looking at them that even though we've done 6 episodes, in-game it is still the same day, which isn't very common for actual plays. They usually burn through days a little bit quicker, but for you two, a lot has been going on in the first few days, and so I wanted to talk about it, and maybe, you know, if you guys have any questions, we can talk about the world, the lore that we're trying to build, your characters, anything like that.
So, what was the name of our town or city again?
The city?
Sephora?
So, well, there's information, because I'm doing all of this in my head, and so there are things that in the moment didn't have names or backstories or lore or anything like that to them. The city being one of them. The name that I ended up coming up for your city, which we kind of need to talk about because it's not just your city, but the name is Solmara.
Solmara, that's right.
Solara.
Not Solara.
Solmara.
Solmara. Solmara.
Solmara.
So it's a word that kind of means like Sun Island, because this world that we're creating is an island in the middle of the ocean, and I wanted Sun to be part of the name somehow, and so Solmara was the name that I came up with for the city that you guys are in. And like I said, it's not just your city. One of the things about Ithrodel, and especially the city that you came from, as well as the city that you're currently in right now on the other island, is the fact that they are the same city. One of the things that I thought about when coming up with this idea of the breaking apart the island into 2 halves, both literally and figuratively, was this idea of the city that you were in, because I wanted you to be from the same city before the breaking, so that when you go from your side of the island to this new side of the island, things would be recognizable but different. I don't know if you guys picked up on that when I first described the moment you entered the city and how the foundations of it, like the base of it, was familiar, but there were things that were different. And the reason why I talked about that when you guys entered the city was that I had this idea of your city once upon a time being one city that, because of the breaking, had been divided and separated, so that there would be some familiarity between the world that you knew, the city that you knew, and then the city that you were experiencing on this side of the island.
So there's a couple of different classes in Solmara, because Han, I got the name right. Han being like lower class with the scoundrels and thieves and stuff, and Captain Garn and Gabriel. What was their robot's name?
Abide,
yes.
I was going to say Bob.
The higher military class.
Yeah, not Bob. Abide.
Bob.
A Bob.
I still want that to be a character. BOQ47B, the Q47 is silent.
Yes.
Yeah, Bob. Han is Slyborn.
Yeah.
You, Maven, or Evelyn, your character is Loreborn.
Yeah.
And then, so we've experienced those two communities, and then Captain Garn and Gabriel and now I want to call him Bob. His name is Bob. Abide are all Orderborn. But within the world of Daggerheart, there are other communities that we're going to be encountering as we go throughout this world. But as of right now, those are the only 3 communities that we've experienced so far.
What's the was it hierarchy? Is that what it's called? What's the order
Anarchy?
of power?
Hierarchy?
Hierarchy? Okay, I did get the word right. What's the
Hierarchy.
okay, what's the hierarchy of the whole system for our island? Is it like monarchy, or I don't remember all the other archies, but like is there a president or something like that?
That is a really good question. That is something that I've thought about concerning the part of the island that you came from, because the Guard, so the organization known as the Guard, has sort of a militaristic, theocratic hold on that part of the island. We kind of discussed it in the first couple episodes with the scarcity of books in Kiara's library, in her classroom, in her collection, as well as Captain Garn's destruction of the book in the town square. But in terms of your side of the island, that hierarchy is the Orderborn, so the Guard, being the ruling class, the current ruling class on that side of the island. As a Loreborn, you are kind of the outsider in this community, because things like books and education and history are looked down upon. You as a Loreborn are almost seen as a lesser class of people. Someone who isn't as enlightened as those in the Guard and Orderborn and things like that.
But Han would also probably be looked down upon as well, just because he's a Slyborn.
Yes, he is a Slyborn, which in this context, in this community, he would be like the bottom of the totem pole. Because he, in a world of perceived or imagined order, he is the disorder. He is the chaos in that system, being a Slyborn, because he breaks the rules and he works outside the law, and he has connections with the underground and things like that, which you haven't really explored too much with your character. One of the advantages of your character is that you can find underground networks, and you have an advantage on finding places to hide, or persuasion, or getting information, or things like that we haven't really delved into yet.
I had advantage on hiding, and I didn't use it.
Yeah, you didn't use it. You made it out. You didn't get caught by the guards on this new side of the island, so
that was running, not hiding. Yeah,
they
had already spotted us.
It was both. Yes, you were spotted, which there may be repercussions in the future for that. Who knows? You also attacked one of the guards.
We did?
Yeah. Evelyn punched him in the face. She didn't say punch. She said, "I want to hit him in the face with my fist." And I was like, "Well, that's usually called punching." When one of the Fae were trying to pull Gabriel out of the door at the top.
I thought I slammed a door in their face.
Well, so what happens is that the fairy was trying to pull him out the door. Yeah. You punched the fairy in the face.
Oh, yeah, no,
the fairy stumbled back and then flew forward. And when the fairy flew forward, Gabriel slammed the door in its face and,
Okay,
insert door slamming, smacking sound effect here.
Yeah. Okay, then now I remember.
So she didn't punch a guard.
No, she did.
I did punch a guard.
The fairies was a guard?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was random. Okay, whatever.
When the guards first entered the square, it was a collection of different kinds of guards, and one of those was fairies. Because one of the things that you guys had mentioned earlier is you thought that the guards in this new side of the island were human, when in fact they weren't human.
Yeah, I don't know why I imagined the guard as a human. No.
I don't like a lot of exposition for the sake of exposition, but because we are building up this world and this lore, there are going to be times, especially in this next episode, now that you guys are in the bookstore of the giant, there's going to be moments.
It's a bookstore?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a library.
Never said that.
The library of this giant. There's going to be moments of exposition, but I didn't want the entire episode to be exposition. And so I wanted to have this kind of filler episode to serve as a way for us to talk about the world, to talk about different things that you're experiencing without, having like an exposition dump in the middle of our podcast episodes. Because we only do episodes that are like 45 minutes long. And so we don't have a lot of breathing room with some of the things that happen. And so I wanted to take this time to sit down with you to not only talk about what's been going on, but also give you guys a chance to ask any questions. If you have questions for me that are about the lore or the history or something that may have happened that in the moment you may not have investigated because you guys don't spend a lot of time investigating things or whatnot, unless it's the figure at the top of the fountain in the middle of the square. You kept going back to that, which was fantastic because you found a puzzle. Which, have you worked the puzzle out at all? Have you even thought about the puzzle?
Where is it?
Or have you guys completely forgot about it?
Ethan had the puzzle, not me.
Okay, so Ethan has the puzzle. So yeah, you guys already found a puzzle that you can start working on. You have the pages from the book that got ripped up by Captain Garn. You have your journals. So there's these elements that you could be utilizing, but you're not in the habit of,
utilizing them at the fountain,
which is great. I'm saying there's going to be more opportunities to utilize things like this.
Wait, so if my character is considered the lower class of society, why is she in that school and in that program?
That I think would be something that that's a question that I think you should answer.
Okay. That's one of the things I'll have to work on.
So when coming up with your character and your character's traits and your character's backstory, you have to figure out like why would Maven be at this school? There are reasons that we're going to find out that, you're in the position that you're in, but how did you get in that position to begin with? Like, what is your backstory? What was your motivation for not only coming to the school, but being interested in this program of, representing humans going across to the other island? Like, what would have been your driving forces for wanting to do that? Han, you have your motivations. Maven, you have your motivations, which may be different motivations, and that's something that you need to think about for your character. Like, what motivates your character to not only do the things that you're currently doing, but what motivated your character in the past that got you to the point where you're at now?
So the tiefling girl, I completely forgot her name.
Infernus.
Oh my gosh,
Shivani.
I had it in my head and I don't know why I said tiefling. What class would Shivani be?
What class would Shivani be, or what community would Shivani be?
Oh, well, probably community. What community would she be?
Ooh, that's a great question because we haven't talked about that yet, have we?
Have you figured it out yet?
No, I have not figured it out. That said, what class would you think Shivani would be?
I don't know, because there's a lot of different classes within
Assassin.
Daggerheart. So
Now you're talking about community, correct? Like Orderborn, Lowerborn,
Yeah,
Slyborn.
yeah.
Sly.
I don't think she would be Slyborn. The Infernus are a little too, mean girl.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, but one of the reasons why you are experiencing all of these races on the new side of the island and why you were only familiar with a few races on the other side of the island is that there was already a cultural rift in the city of Salmara before the breaking. Now, the breaking is what separated the class that you are from and the class that you are now experiencing. The Infernus are one of those classes that, in terms of the lore and the history of this island, was one of the higher class of races that looked down on the other lower classes of races.
That doesn't really make any sense, because if Han is a Slyborn and Maven...
Now, so I'm talking about races, not communities.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you have your humans, your Infernus, your elves, your Qatari. like all on your side of the island. And then in the other side of the island, you have the fungrel and the tortoises and the fairies and the dwarves and the halflings and races of people that in the past were considered like lower class. And so again, there was already that social division before the breaking even happened. So yeah, communities in Dagheart, we have Highborn, we have Loreborn, and Orderborn, the three that we have experienced so far. But there's also Ridgeborn, so like mountain people, Seaborn, so pirates. And oh my gosh, I have such a good idea for exploring that. There's Slyborn, which Han is from. We have Underborn, which is like a cave dwelling.
Which wouldn't be on our side of the island. Those are like dwarves.
Yeah, subterranean. When we have Wanderborn, which are like, I guess, vagabonds, like nature, like living nature folk. And then Wildborn. So there are other communities that we're going to experience in your travels. But for right now, yeah, there's just a couple that you've met.
I think the only reason Maven and Han had the opportunity at all to get into the school or to actually go to the other side of the island as representatives, even though we're like the most looked down upon, is because Kiara had some favorites.
That's a good observation.
I didn't realize.
You may find out more in the next episode, but yeah, that's a good observation. Yeah.
I didn't realize that my character was kind of looked down upon like that.
You did see how Gabriel treated you, and yeah.
You mean me?
I thought that was just because my character, Maven, stuck around Han and stopped Han from getting into way too much trouble. And
that's
he kind of
true,
just did that to anyone and everyone. That's kind of the personality I picked up off him.
Yeah.
So.
You say that like this next episode is a rest.
Yes, it is a rest.
What do you mean by what? Like what type of rest?
Well, so we started episode 1 with an explosion.
Yeah.
And we learned about the sort of a moment in the history of Ithrodel. And then when both of your characters are introduced, so the first episode of that, you went into a town square and then you had a book being destroyed and almost being caught by Gabriel and getting your journals taken away, which that would have been interesting to see how that would have played out had that happened. And then the bridge exploded and then the bridge collapsed. And then in this new side of the island, you were chased by the guards. So it's been kind of like nonstop, back to back. Happens.
Running.
And you haven't really had a moment to take even a short rest because it's been nonstop. But this next episode is definitely going to be a moment for you guys to step back and to talk about not only what you've experienced, but also what you're about to experience moving forward in this campaign.
So if books weren't really in the city we lived in, how would my character have been a loreborn? Are there like people who have books within the families? Or you're giving me the eyebrow raise thingy?
I'm giving you the eyebrow raise because I think that is a fantastic question that you should answer about your character.
Because you don't have the answer.
No, I do have the answer for this.
Oh, okay.
I do have an answer for this.
What'd she ask?
Because she asked if books were
frowned upon,
were banned or not present, how is she still a loreborn? Okay, so Kiara is also a loreborn.
Okay. That's why. Okay, that makes sense.
So again, not wanting to exposition dump, but there are reasons that you guys are about to find out shortly as to why not only there are so few books, but what Kiara plays in all of that, and why you, Maven, are still a loreborn, even in a world where books were so scarce, we'll say. But that is a good question for you. Like, did you have books in your family that were like passed down or hidden or anything like that in this world of the guard constantly trying to, take away books and control information and all that kind of stuff? Because I think that's a fantastic part of your backstory that you can flesh out a little bit.
Okay. So I have a question for Han.
Say what?
How did your character get to be where he is and learn how to read and write if you're a Slyborn and grew up on the back streets?
Why would I not know how to read and write?
I think being a Slyborn, you'd have to learn how to read and write because you have to pass secret messages. And
Yeah. So are you trying to like look down upon me?
No, I'm just wondering because usually in communities and societies like that, lower class people don't usually know, especially historically. Lower class people don't usually know how to read
that's
and
in
write.
real
They know
life.
how to work, but not exactly read and write.
That's in real life. We're not in real life.
Except in fantasy worlds, that it happens there too. In Mistborn, the awesome series Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, like the lowest class, the ska people, they don't know how to read and write. They know how to work, how to live, but they don't know how to read and write. It's like it happens in fantasy worlds too.
she has a point. And again, this is something that you, Han, could like figure out about your character's backstory. For example, this is just an example. You don't have to use it. But maybe you did know how to read and write. And so in the world of the Slyborn, you were like a more educated one, which may have led to you being in a position to go to the school that you were at and, be considered for this program of representing humans to cross the bridge and experience the new part of the island.
Yeah. Yep.
So what was your idea or outline for what would have happened to us if we had gone back over to our side of the island after when the bridge blew up?
I had an idea.
Okay.
Because I learned a long time ago that the best laid plans with the two of you can go horribly awry. And if I expect you to lose and you don't, then I have to like come up with something on the fly. So I've learned that I need to have a backup plan just in case you lose. Yeah. Fireball.
18,
Fireball,
19, 19,
not 20,
17, 20, 19.
19. Yeah. I did not anticipate that. And so, because that was such a formative experience in our TTRPG backstory, I've learned that I at least need to have an idea of what happens if things don't go according to plan.
Which they usually don't.
But I knew that I wanted to find a way to get you guys to the other side of the island. And so that was a major part of it. But I did have, I had ideas forming on what would have happened had you jumped back over to your side of the island before the bridge collapsed. I had ideas, and those ideas may come into play later. But I at least had some ideas brewing in my mind prior to that moment, because I am terrible at this. But in all reality, most of the time when we play, I am making stuff up on the fly. Now, in the past few weeks, I've gotten a lot better and I've written everything down and I've started making a wiki and categorizing all the characters and locations and events that are coming up and things like that to have more of not a script to read from, because I don't want to read from a script, because again, you guys make decisions that I could not have anticipated or planned for. And there are characters that I've developed that you should have encountered, but you never did. And so I've gotten better about laying all this out, but I still want to give you guys an opportunity to make your own decisions and let the dice roll how they may, and then adjust and adapt from there. Yeah. So the bridge was a pivotal moment where the story could have taken an entirely different direction. The bridge collapsing could have taken an entirely different direction. Especially if one of you had not made it, but the other one did. And we would have had to adjust from that, and that would have been fine.
Okay.
But nothing was wrote. Nothing was scripted. Everything just kind of happened. And so now, like the guard, I did have an idea of if you guys got captured by the guard, what would happen, but you didn't. And so now, we're going forward in this new direction.
Had I not rolled critical successes, we would not have made it across the bridge.
Had you not rolled constant critical successes, although it did really help that you had abilities like Quick Foot and I Work Out to be able to have a +5 on rolls. And so that's great.
Yeah.
Later, we may be in a situation where we're just, I don't know, for example, surrounded by a bunch of books with a character that has, the ability to do speed reading and, take advantage of her abilities.
Yeah.
Not that I'm, talking about anybody in particular.
Of course.
So I'm really excited, not only the direction that we've gone so far, but the direction we're going. I have so many ideas for things that I want your characters to experience. But that said, I also want to be able to give you guys a sandbox to play in. I want this to act almost like an open world for you to make the decisions of where you want to go and who you want to talk to, so that I can then figure out the kinds of experiences that each of your characters are going to happen. There are other, especially with like one-shots and other campaigns that are very linear. You start from A, you end at Z, and you hit, certain points along the line. What I want for you and what I want for Ithrodel is to this to be a sandbox that you can play in, that you can make your own decisions, that kind of like in Legend of Zelda, you get to decide where you want to go, who you want to talk to, what you may encounter, who you may fight, and all of that. And I'm so excited about the adventures that both of your characters are going to be going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
On that note, thank you so much for listening to this special bonus episode of Fumblelore. Now, this episode of Lore Dump is going to be a Patreon exclusive content. So if you want access to content like this moving forward, or if you like this podcast and want to help support us in what we do, creating these cinematic, family-friendly episodes for everyone to listen to, you can head over to fumblelore.com to find out how to become a patron. As a patron, you'll not only get behind the scenes access to the world building that we're doing, but also the artwork, any bonus content, one-shots, character designs. There's a lot that's going to be coming out. So if you want to have access to that and you want to help support the show, please go over to fumblelore.com to find out more, and be sure to come back next week for some more Fumblelore.